500 guineas, 500, 500 guineas. 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000 guineas, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800.
It's the first time for a very long time I've had a desire to see that picture now in Christie's. That is because it's so long ago, and I'm very curious about the picture. I would like to see it, very much. I've never felt that before.
2,700, 2,800, 2,900, 3,000.
It's one of the very earliest, and it looks to me as one of the best, but I'd like to see it in colour.
4,400 guineas. 4,400 guineas, then. Any more? 4,400. David Hughes?
Oh, my epitaph is definitely work for others, and there was no rest. Now I see pictures I got £31 bringing nearly £6,000. Oh, I oughtn't to feel better. I feel it's a pity, but it's there. They'd have the risk, and they bought pictures when I was totally unknown. They deserved that. The whole idea started in my mind on the walk Saturday night from Falmouth to Bolton. And that's how the idea came in my mind to do it. And it was, in those days, there was a colliery at Kersley, and there was a thump, thump, thump of the engines as you went past that colliery. That was it. That's how it started. That's where the first idea came of doing it. That was about 1912 or 13. We lived in a residential side of Manchester up to 1909. And then we went to Penderby, midway between Manchester and Bolton. And at first I disliked it, and then at length I became obsessed by it. It's been nothing else for 30 years. I did the little figures from memory, drew them, and then I painted them, and I painted them as well as I could. I've tried to get them as real as I possibly could all the time. I owe everything to the life drawing, in my opinion. I'm tired of people saying, see yourself taught. I'm sick of it. I went one day to the art school and said, please, I want to join the art school. And so I went into the freehand drawing class. And then I was a preparatory antique. A light and shade. Then, after time, the antique class. When they thought that I was sufficiently advanced in antique, I went into the life class. Yeah, I did the life drawing for 12 solid years as well as I could. And that, I think, is the foundation of painting. I don't think you can teach painting, because everybody's colour sense is different. But drawing, the model's there, and you either get it right or wrong, you see. And the strange thing is, you can tell whether people have drawn their life from their pictures. Those figures aren't as easily balanced as one as they look from. You've got to make those figures look natural and spontaneous, and yet they've got to be balanced. I was taught by a gentleman by the name of Villette, and he was what I would call a typical product of the Impressionist school. But I know that I ever wanted to paint like the Impressionists. A gentleman named Bernard Taylor, a Manchester critic. I took a picture to him one day, and it was very dark, and he said, that's no use, you know. And he held it up against a white wall, and it was black against the wall. You have to do better than that, you know. So I was very angry with him. Then to pay him out, I did 2 or 3 figures on an absolutely white drawing, and it was chalky. And I took it to him and he said, that's what I meant. You see, you've got all the other quality in that like paint. And that's what did it. That started it. I was hoping that people would get to like these things sooner or later, but I didn't feel I could expect them to buy them. But the relations laughed at them. The relations didn't think much of it on. The family were very good. They said, yeah, well, they said, he can't help it, you know. It keeps him out of mischief, not fit to do anything else, so let him paint pictures. I often wonder what artists are for nowadays, what with photography and 1001 processes by which you can get representations of. I'm totally unuseful. Can't see any use at all in me. Can you? I couldn't go out in the morning and get down at 9:30 and touch a case and a bowl out of me and an umbrella. I couldn't do it. I think I'd like to have been a stockbroker. It's very queer, but it's all true. It's very funny. I never liked work, and I worked harder and more hard, my job more than anybody, harder than anybody, for less money. I didn't like being a child. I was not interested. The school days, too. I've no of those sorts of stories, what they say about the best time of your life is all bunkum to me. And it wasn't a nice time at all. Well, I have no really happy memories of my childhood. One-track mind. One-track mind. Poverty or gloom. Never a joyous picture of mine you'll see. Never. Never a cheerful picture. Always gloom. Poverty is the great line. Isn't it? It's poverty. But I never do a jolly picture. You can never see the sun in one of my pictures. No. Never see the sun do it. A very queer mind, you know. I never want to do a wedding. I did one once. It was a very sad affair. Always tragedy. I don't know what it is, why. Oh, I've often wondered, is it all worth it? I've often thought that, is it all worth it? Because there's not much, it doesn't seem to be very much in it when you look at it in cold blood. Or something to worry about. I'd like to make my own funeral. Well, in a what is it? In a what capacity? Passive capacity. Like to be a man in the coach, you see. Yes, I feel no mind at all. Really, any time, really. I don't know what I could, and so it's prolonging it. Oh, yes, that comes with age. I'm working now with my finger, which is a very useful thing to work with sometimes. I'm going to give him a red scarf.
What sort of difference does it make?
What?
Between a finger and a brush?
Saves wasting another brush, then.
You've got smaller feet than usual.
They're wearing smaller shoes now.
Why do you paint people so much? Why not something else?
Don't want to. Landscape doesn't interest me, really. That is a landscape I know, probably sentimentally.
You're never sentimental about people, are you?
Very sentimental, but it doesn't come out in these things, does it?
Why are they back to back like that?
I couldn't say I don't like to think about a little difference of opinion, probably. We'll have a little kid on show, you know.
How do you feel when you're painting?
Oh, you wonder what you're going to have for lunch sometimes, and you think, what shall I do tomorrow? I've got to go to so-and-so and so-and-so. What do I do tomorrow, and what shall I have for lunch? Will Manchester City win on Saturday? Things like that. It's automatic. It's quite automatic. Oh, I know the time flies by when you do it.
How will you know when it's finished?
You leave it and you pick it up and you add to it and you put it away and you pick it up to it and then you put it away and you think, I can do no more with that. You use it again a few months afterwards and you think, well, I can't, what's called it finished. So.
How would you describe it? Would you describe it as an instinctive process?
Instinctive process, yes. Quite instinctive. You keep on with the thing, you take it as far as you can, and then when you come to it again, you take it further, and so on, and then there comes a time when you can't touch it. That's when it's finished. It's quite instinctive. Well, I can't do much more of that, can I? Now?
Looking back on your work, which do you think is the most important period? Which would you most like to be remembered by?
Well, I started off intentionally. If I could put the industrial scene on the map properly, I would drop out. But I did that, I thought I did that. They were going all over the world, 1948, 51, 48, but I didn't drop out. So I'm here now.
What about these very latest ones of the sea?
Well, I did them the last autumn, I think, and my experiences of the northeast is in. Huh?
Could I see it?
That is, of course, based on the jetty and the thing of the Tynemouth Pier. I wasn't quite satisfied with that. It was too harmless. This one followed, I think, is more what I wanted to get.
What sort of a view of life is that giving us? What?
Pretty ominous, isn't it? It's a battle of life, isn't it? Huh? The turbulence of the sea, and life's pretty turbulent, isn't it? I'm very fond of the sea, because I'm very fond of the sea all my life. How wonderful it is, how terrible it is, and what if it suddenly changed its mind and didn't turn the tide and came straight on? If it didn't stop, it came on and on and on and on and over the end of it all. I think we're heading as fast as we can for disaster, don't you? It's happened before in the history of the world. I think we're the lowest form of animal life. We're the only form that destroys itself wantonly. We've got intelligence, we've got a lot of animals, and yet we waste it. I think music gives me the most relief, if you like to call it that. But you can get up in the morning, I did 2 mornings, you're fed up, and I turned on Mozart, and he did the trick. Barks and Tartars, particularly, they seem to me to almost take me across whatever there is to take you across to. I feel certain there is a God. There must be something behind it all. Because everything's so perfect, isn't it? Everything's so perfect. I like Bolton, yes. It's alive, more alive than Barry or these other places. Well, what do you think of that?
What do you?
Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't know.
You like it?
Well, it's very odd, isn't he?
It is odd.
Eh? Funny expression on his face. He looks very, very solemn, like an undertaker.
Ah, good. I'll tell you a very, very sad story about this. Some years ago, a bardoscope came still. He came just passing through, going on to Manchester University, and he said, is there anything of interest round here? So I said, well, what do you want? He said, there's art galleries. Oh, I don't want an art gallery, he said. Anything really worth looking at? So I said, in the park in Bolton, I said, there's 3 pieces that I think I ought to see.
Hmm.
So he came. And he was very nasty about it.
Okay.
He was surprised.
Well, I am a little bit, yes.
He was very nasty about it. And he said very unkind things. And I told him that he ought to be ashamed of himself, because he's probably seen the most remarkable pieces of sculpture he's ever seen in his life.
Huh?
And he went away without saying goodbye to me.
Really?
And about a year after, he came back to the same place, but didn't come to see me. We sent a friend up to look at them.
No.
He did indeed, that's a fact. Now, I don't think they're very good.
Well, this one, yes, but not that one.
What's the matter with that one? What's the matter with that one, Carol? Why, I've seen the
What do you like about that one?
I'm asking you what you think of them.
No, I don't like him.
You like him, though?
I rather like him, but not that one.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. That's very unfortunate. Have you seen the end one?
No, I haven't.
I want to see the end
I
one,
want
you
to
know?
see that.
That's down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Now you. You're doing your art. No, it's in there.
I like it.
It's a shocker. Mr. Cassidy did that.
Did the same man do them all?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I've forgotten his name. I forget everything. He didn't do it. I don't know who did that. Well, it's a fact I don't know who did them, Carol. And they're memorable. I think so. They're memorable. That's
very,
right.
very much. I
They're
remember them all.
You remember them all? Yes, I remember my life. I first saw them in '33. And it's nice to visit the scenes of my childhood. Look at them again.
Childhood? You weren't a child in '33?
Oh, no, 46 of them, yes. It's a beauty. He's only 60, 69. Oh, it's a lovely thing, isn't it?
What do you think they'll put on your stone?
I hope they'll put on my stone. He worked for others and there was no rest.
Lot 116. First of the works by Lowry. £500 started.
950. Shane Gary, Newcastle.
£3,000. £3,000 then. Yours, madam.
Oh, my epitaph is definitely worked for others and there was no rest. I feel I've done as well as I could. I think it's time to stop.